Excuse me. How's it going? Thanks for being here. Let's work on Latterly. Stripe is good to go. In the previous stream, we implemented Stripe. You can visit latterly.io and leave a tip through Stripe securely. Subscribe, pay what you can, as little as $1 a month. You can sign up for this application and get a bunch of benefits. And then there is premium tier. If you want to do 30 or more dollars per month, you get even more benefits. So Stripe is done. So let's come over here to our Issues tab, Command F, STRIPE. We found it, and we're going to close this one out. Because I did not leave the closes comment here, which would have automatically handled this, we're going to specify closed with comment. You mean Control F? I'm on a Mac, so it was Command F. It would be Control F on Windows, yeah. Okay, and so we are working on issues numbered 1 through 19. And we're just going to get through as many as we can. Notice that I have all the way up to 29, so I have a big roadmap planned. By becoming a subscriber, you can influence the developer roadmap. If you subscribe at the premium level, the vote is weighted more heavily. But if you subscribe at any level, you can contribute to the roadmap prioritization. And you can determine, for example, should we implement AI-assisted chat, a mobile app, or advanced certifications, basically? Which of these things should we sort of do first? So those are some future-looking features. In the near term, I'd like to integrate Calendly. I'd like to get the professional here. So consider signing up at $12 a month so I can sign up for the professional Calendly and integrate it. That'll be good for the users as well as me. I'll quickly go through some of the benefits here. Collective one-offs. So these are events basically. I want to do Latterly IRL events. We'll be doing that later this year. Integrated email. Text notifications. That's going to help me get to the meetings on time and not need to reschedule. Redirect invitees, analytics. So it's this gray sort of professional tier here is the one that I really want. Integrations, Zapier, MailChimp, and Stripe. So we went through the fact that I recently integrated Stripe, and that is why this tier is my goal. $12 a month. That could be one subscriber, y'all, and then I could work on that. That would be really good for the community. Okay. Let me close some of these tabs. And we'll get started, I guess, just going through add style lint. Let me make sure I'm on the right branch here. So I'll Control C to kill the server, get branch. We can see I'm on main. Let me get pull already up to date, good. So we will create a feature branch, get branch 1-stylelint. Get checkout 1-stylelint. Get branch again, and you can see now I have it checked out. So we want to find style lint that will work with Tailwind. And we are using Next.js together. So we're going to basically take a time boxing strategy on this project. And I think we can get this one done in under 15 minutes. Is creating a creator SaaS? I don't know. That's a good question. What do you think? What's up, man? Good to see you here. I'm stealing your business model. So everyone check out Schleifer. He teaches people to code for $1. I think it's $1, as little as $1 a month. And I was inspired by that. And so I'm also trying to offer a tier at that level. So we could use this. I'm seeing that the weekly downloads are small but increasing. It looks like a alpha version basically. It's 8 months old. I don't know. We'll leave it on the table, but it doesn't look super hot at first glance. Patreon is my new government taxer. Valid, valid. Yeah, I built my own, but it's kind of the same idea. This looks good. StyleLint. So this is the official StyleLint. StyleLint config standard. This looks good. This is standard stuff. We love standard stuff. SAS validate false. Right, I don't want that. Using in Toast. I don't know. Why are we talking about Toast? So this is starting to get away from what I care about. Okay, maybe I can just ignore that piece. So it looks like it's just using standard config. I mean, cool. That would be super easy if that works. Here's an example, StyleLint config recommended, Command F standard. So this one is using config recommended instead of standard. I don't know who this is, STC the producer. I'm gonna go ahead and close that out. There's no credibility, there's no reputation. You see the issue? Closing this out. I want something that has a bit of reputation behind it. Yeah, the more I grow, the more expensive Patreon gets. It's a vibe. It's a vibe. That's, in a way, that's kind of a nice problem to have though, right? When your audience is so big, you're like, man, the 5% fee is killing me. Or whatever it is, I don't know. I don't know if it's really 5%. Post CSS lit, I don't want lit. I don't want lit element. Okay, bye. Here we're on the Tailwind blog. This is as legit as it gets, right? Detecting CSS errors, this is what it's all about for me. Tailwind CSS IntelliSense. This is the VS Code extension. I think I already have it installed. Tailwind. Okay, so I have this installed. But I'm not getting the linting. Installation. Tailwind config.js, Command C, Command P, Command V. And we can see that I do have my Tailwind config file named as they require. Autocomplete, the autocomplete's working. Linting, this is the piece that I think is not working. Highlights errors in your CSS and your markup. So maybe linting, according to what it's designed to do, is working, and maybe I just expected more, because it looks like this is lint within a CSS file. I want lint within my TSX file. I might grandfather the users low-key and use another platform later. I think that's how it has to be, right? At some point we outgrow and we move. I mean, I had to leave Teachable because they won't let me add more people to my free course. And they want me to pay over $100 a month. I'm like, I'll just build my own. And so we did it. So yeah, I think that's the right thing to do. Grandfather them in when you have to move. Thanks for the follow. Hey, quick reminder, y'all, I'm streaming to YouTube as well, full screen. So you can go to the link in my bio and see the full screen if you'd like. Here I'm seeing Sass. I don't want Sass. CSS modules, okay. I don't want this stuff. Stylelint config recommended. Let me go to the stylelint docs. If it's literally linting CSS files, that's not what I thought I signed up for. I thought I could lint JSX and TSX. Makes sense. Sup, Johnny boy? How's it going? Thanks for being here. Block no empty, unit allowed list, right. So these are what I'm expecting. Alpha value notation. Stylelint config standard is one of our official configs that you can extend. Cool. Do I see Tailwind on this? I don't see Tailwind on this site. It looks kind of like this is just linting CSS, so fine, I'll do it. But it's not what I wanted. Let's look for Tailwind lint. Maybe ESLint Tailwind. Okay, this looks much bigger, right? 182K. Rules enforcing best practices using Tailwind. You can use the official Prettier plugin Tailwind. Over 600K. This looks good. Do I already have Prettier? I think I already have Prettier installed. I see your reflection. Cool. Do you really? You have good eyes. Good for you. Thanks for being here. Omar Gul says, also it's active, last updated 7 hours ago. Good eyes. These are the things we look for when we're looking for a high quality package. Exactly. What programming language needs to learn first, then Tailwind? At a minimum, JavaScript. Let's see what's going on with my camera here. The answer is at a minimum JavaScript. TypeScript will also help. Okay, so I think I want this one. And we're time boxing it anyway, so let's go ahead. We'll do ESLint plugin Tailwind, Prettier plugin Tailwind. I'm going to try to do them both. Hopefully there is not a conflict. And we can throw stylelint in there as well, but I don't want these, like I'm not using Sass, so I don't want that. Catching conflicts in your HTML. Okay, so the official linter is looking at HTML, although it doesn't appear to look for JSX. JSX. Yeah, I don't see JSX showing up. Okay, so here we can do stylelint config standard. I'll use these. These look good. Okay, collapsing. So we're done ideating. We're getting into consolidation now. I don't want these. I mean, this docs is fine, but it's the same thing. Stylelint config standard. Tailwind linter. Oh, that's kind of cool. That is like a GitHub action tailwind linter. I don't want that, but that's kind of cool. We already looked at this. So we're doing these three. So let me call out these three in the issue. You starting from scratch, setup project, nice. I hate using boilerplate like create React app. Yeah, create React app is done. It's no longer the era. Create next app is valid. I'm not starting from scratch though. I'm using Blitz.js. Okay, so I think I have a package locked. So we're using npm not yarn here. So I'll npm I prettier plugin tailwind. ESLint plugin tailwind. And this is save dev. Yeah, I should be doing save dev actually. Let me grab these two on the end, Command C, Command V, and then I'm going to Command left arrow and go to the start here, npmi --save -dev space. This will ensure that those packages are used at development time and they are not shipped into production where they would bloat the server unnecessarily. npm audit force fix, we might do that, but let's do that in a different commit. So here I'm going to chore install linters. Let's commit that. Then we are going to npm audit fix. Let's not force it. Let's just see if that takes care of things. Fixed a whole lot of nothing, didn't it? To address issues that do not require attention. What does it mean to address issues that do not require attention? That's a strange thing to say, right? To address all issues I think I'm going to roll this back. Quick question, do you always need Webpack when starting from scratch? A lot of things you have to do for Webpack. I'm not sure I understand the question, but you don't always need Webpack when starting from scratch. Like, you don't always need Webpack. Wow, StyleLint got downgraded from 15 to 7. That is wild. Blitz Danger 67. This doesn't look like a good thing. I'm going to roll this back. Okay, so we have these linters installed. Let's now configure them. We are going to create StyleLint conf.js. Here I'll vim I for insert, and that way I can just quickly paste this. Command C, Command V, escape, :WQ, enter. So now you know how to exit Vim. WQ for write and quit. What code stack do you use at work, asks Cody. I use a bunch of different stacks for a bunch of different things. We have a Rails monolith, we have a Django application, we have Fast API application, Flask application, a few Kotlin applications. Yeah. Loguru for logging. That's a lot of the stack there. We're in the AWS cloud. That's a lot of the stack. For the web stuff, yeah, I don't know. I think we're using some Next and some React and Rails, if I'm not mistaken. So it's making a local VS Code settings JSON. Do I have one already? VS Code settings JSON. Okay, here's my local VS Code settings JSON. So we'll add these. Let's get the style lent extension. Only 16 reviews on that guy, although it's highly rated. Since we installed it here, let's add this to the README. Tailwind, recommended tools. Now in theory, I should be able to recommend that through my settings JSON file. Oh, extensions, here it is. Style lent. So I'll just say the extensions listed in Okay, the extensions listed there are recommended. I'm new to web development. Can you be my mentor, please? You can book a call with me through the website Latterly, link in my bio. So let's get the technical name of this plugin. Like so, the item name. Go back to the settings.json. And let's get the one for Tailwind as well. Cool. So this should address the style lent config. Let's publish the branch. By the way, if you like the video, tap the screen to give it some likes, which will cause the algorithm to share it out with other people. Next, we want to set this up. So this has been installed, but it hasn't been set up. Prettier config.js. Let's grab this. I think I should have this file already. Command P, prettier. So I have a prettier RC. Actually, I don't see a prettier config file. Right click, close others. Tap this breadcrumb. And I see, here's a post CSS config. That's interesting. But I do not see a prettier config. Is it configured through the settings JSON? Not really. All right, let's make one. So in this case, I need this whole bit. Are you learning to program? No, I've been programming for about 10 years. To ensure class sorting takes into consideration any of your customizations, we need access to this file. Yep, that makes sense. I don't like the way this tutorial is written because it seems that this will complete the file, which it won't. This should be added here. Oh, this is kind of cool, these template literals. Yeah, let's use that. I think it's clear enough when I'm using a Tailwind style, but maybe not. We can be even more explicit. That's nice. Thank you for the likes. Thanks, James. Good to see you here. Okay, so this is set up. I'll leave that tab open. Let's set up this one. Should already have ESLint. It's just double checked. Yep. Do we have the ESLint RC? Okay, we do. We are using the Blitz Next ESLint. So I want to have multiple extensions. Let's see, I could guess, but let's ask ChatGPT. So say I would like to add ESLint to my Blitz.js codebase using TypeScript and Tailwind. I would like to have a ESLint configuration file that extends to rule sets. My file has some error. How can I fix it? This is .eslint.rc.js. This is not an ESLint plugin. I think I already have this, right? Command F, Command V, there it is, yep. Be for real, ChatGPT won't know how to do this. If I had a nickel for every time I heard that. Okay, so let's run lint. npm run lint. Okay, so that worked. Let's do this. Cool, I think that's good. There's a bunch of complaints about the class name's order. Border laterally light purple is not a Tailwind class. Good, this is what I'm looking for. It will tell you when something is not a Tailwind class. Now the problem here is that it's unaware of my custom colors. So I would like, no custom class name. I would like this to be false. You can add its name to the list to make sure. Cool. So it's going to read that article and give me an opinion, but let me try to look at this myself. We just read about this issue. So this is for prettier. This should not be the issue. Okay, so I guess prettier is aware. But ESLint is not. That's what it seems like. Okay, so I guess we have a whitelist just like that. Awesome. So this is simple enough. Now I can whitelist all of my laterally classes. So who's complaining here? This is Tailwind CSS. So I think this is an ESLint concern. So we extend the rules, we extend the config, we extend the extensions, and we extend the rules. Extend everything. Should drop my problem count down. Class name border laterally light purple is still causing an error. You can just use the class by adding it to your globals. I'd prefer not to add it to globals. By the way, the issue is not using the class. I'm already using the class. The issue is that the linter is considering it an error. Let's see if this drops it. So that did. So it seems like the regex didn't work. Get wrecked. So here's the whitelist. It does seem to support regular expressions. Okay. So we need to change the property name. Instead of whitelist, can be used to support custom attributes. I don't want to support custom attributes. That's a typo, by the way. So maybe I should just disable this rule, huh? Because I do have custom class names. Only allow class names from Tailwind and the values from the whitelist option. I just disagree with this because currently I'm mixing them. So no custom class names. Let's do disable this. Okay, now the problem count should go down again. Ooh, what is that? So I said disabled when I should have said off. Okay. Good, so the problem count is down. Now let's go to this file. So the class names order. So did that auto fix it? I think so. How about this bad boy? You can look at the diff. This is the index, source pages index. And we can see these Tailwind styles were reordered. Good. Seems to be working as expected. Pass href is missing. Cool. So feat ESLint let's push that. 0 errors, 28 potentially fixable with fix option. Okay, so let's do that. npm run lent dash fix twice because the first tells to pass fix as an argument. So you see fix was ultimately passed. Great, and we fixed a bunch of those issues and now only 6 remain. Conflicting styles. Look, the linter found conflicting styles. That's what we're here for. I love it. Let me command click the 86.7. That didn't work. Okay. I wish it jumped me over there. That's a bummer. So I'll command click the file name. And that's also not working. So I'll highlight command C, command P, command V. And that's also not working. Let me trim my workspace name. Okay, and I need to pick the one that's under here and go to line 86. Text 1.8 rem is conflicting with text small. So let's get rid of text small. This is the join now button. Let's do a visual test. So I'm going to npm run dev. I'm going to go ahead and close this because things seem to be working. Let's open up localhost. Well, it takes a minute, but this is even slower than I expected. Maybe I'm just not being patient. Finally, there we go. Blitz, reduce Blitz client plugins is not a function. So I guess it took longer than normal because there was an error. Okay, so where did this error come from? I mean, the first thing I'm going to try is just restarting my server. Oh, let me do this. npm run build. This might be helpful. It's saying the Blitz logger doesn't exist. That is so wild. So the version of Blitz hasn't changed. Ah, you know what? It could be the npm audit fix. Yeah, the force fix that I did. So this is never fun, but I have to remref my node modules to validate whether this is actually the issue. Thank you for the likes. Image, music, text. Thank you so much. Reinstalled pretty quick. That's great news. And now let's npm run build and see if the same issue occurs. Class names are conflicting. That's okay. Let's see if I can run dev. So we were able to bypass the build failure on the missing logger. The logger absolutely should not be missing. And now we're slow again. This is my one complaint. And I don't know who to direct this complaint at, but this developer experience is rather slow. Okay, we finally made it. All right, so that was it. The npm audit force fix broke the site. Good thing I rolled it back. So what we want to check out now is whether removing text small alters the look and feel of the Join Now button. So here's the Join Now button. We'll remove that text small. I think it looks the same, and even if it doesn't look the same, it looks good enough to me. Aman, thanks for the follow. So I think it looks fine. Now let's npm run lint. And it seems to have passed the lint. Let's npm run build. Go ahead and get these file changes staged. This will be fix:lint. Looking good. Commit and push. Cool. Well, that fixed the styleint issue. I don't know that we'll get to any of our other issues today. Well, maybe we can, because one of them I think was just a low priority. Add new site URL to Teachable. Okay, so we'll go to the Teachable site. Now if I'm here, I click this, and it takes me here. I don't want to see this anymore. So let me edit this page. Join now. Going to delete this block. We'll change the URL to latterly.io and publish that. Okay, let me open an incognito browser so I can see what it looks like to an external user. This is latterly.teachable.com. This is the old site that I have left now. Okay. That looks good. That looks good. So this all seems fine. And now this takes you here. Great. So it's basically a landing page for the new site now. Can I remove the login button? Nope, that's sort of locked into place. Good, I think that's good enough. So option number 3 we can say is done. Full site with periodic backups. This is automatically supported under the Pro plan. Supabase Pro, automatic backups. Cam says, best way to learn CSS fully. Don't. That is the best way to learn it fully. Don't learn it fully. Learn only the bit you need to solve the problem in front of you. This is a design paradigm called YAGNI. You ain't gonna need it. So the idea of mastery learning, I oppose that. I think you should expend the effort to solve the problem in front of you, and you don't need to worry about mastery learning. When it comes to CSS, if you're trying to land a job, you're going to want to be able to pass an interview, you're going to want to be able to obtain a certification, and you're going to want to be able to make your websites look decent. So I think those are some of the things you should consider, not trying to learn it fully. Like learning design patterns and all that. Yeah, if you want to study design theory, you're welcome to. I don't recommend this for landing a programming role, but maybe you don't want to be a programmer. Maybe you want to be a designer, and there's nothing wrong with that. I don't know the best courses in design theory. I just don't know them. There are some principles of selecting high quality educational institutions that we can apply. So we can look for a high quality boot camp by going to course report, sorting by the most reviewed, and then looking for over 400 reviews and a rating of 4.25 or higher. If LeWagon has a design curriculum, it's going to be good, that's for sure. This is web development, that's not design. So these are all web development boot camps. Here's an introduction to design. UI, UX, design, career track. So maybe this is something for you to consider then, Cam. I have a fully functional website with separate API written in Go. The website has bare minimum CSS. I think one important thing to consider is that you can style with tools other than CSS alone. So for example, you'll want to consider a component library, such as Bootstrap or Material. Salesforce would love you to use their Lightning components. I'm sure they would. I'm partial to material design. Much of material design, although it will ultimately influence CSS, you're not directly writing CSS in many cases. So if your front end is written in React, you can use React Material Design, MUI, and you will interact with this component library to build widgets such as what you can see on the right. These are common design patterns. These are also called design patterns, or they're also called widgets. So design patterns refers to more than CSS. It can refer to entire user experiences. The concept of a design pattern can actually be quite complex. And you can interact with the look and feel of these through their API, through JavaScript attributes, JSX attributes, instead of writing CSS in many cases. So here's an example. Variant text, variant contained. We're controlling the look and feel through an API instead of CSS. Any good ones that you recommend for Svelte? Man, what are you doing, man? You're writing a backend in Go and a front end in Svelte? Are you just trying to be an edgelord? Like, where did you come up with this? You're picking a bunch of shiny objects, man. Yeah, you can do material Svelte if you want to. So there you go. But I don't know. Seems like you picked quite a strange architecture. Okay, what were we doing? We have styleint, good. This is ready to merge. So let me update this and say closes number 1. We'll merge that. Now we go to the Issues tab. This is not to be closed. Oh yeah. This is what we were doing. Supabase, automatic backups. We can see all Pro and Enterprise plans include this with a 24-hour snapshot. That's good enough for me. So I will drop this link on my issue here. So let's close when we upgrade to Pro. Drop a comment. I will apply the label low priority. What's wrong with Go and Svelte? Let's look at the developer survey. They're called shiny objects. That's what's wrong with them. They're not good for having you land a job. In particular, if you're a junior. If you're a senior and you want to have fun, they're great technologies. If you're a junior and you're trying to land a job, they're terrible technologies. So supply and demand. Think like an economist. You want to learn JavaScript. Some people approach this the wrong way. They think JavaScript is the most common language, therefore I should avoid it because I need to have a special niche skill set. I don't want to be one of the many people who knows JavaScript. JavaScript is oversupplied, they think. This is totally the wrong way of thinking. JavaScript is known by so many people precisely because there is market demand for JavaScript. The proper way to read this is, holy shit, every programmer knows JavaScript. If I'm going to be a real programmer, I should know JavaScript. That's the correct way to read this. Notice this is all respondents, 63.6%. When we click professional developers, what do you think is going to happen? Will that number go up or down? It goes up. Take a look at Python. All respondents, 49%. So first of all, most coders don't know Python. Isn't that interesting? Now when I go professional developers, it's an even lower number. Does this make you want to learn Python more or less? It should make you want to learn it less if you want to be a programmer. Now this is concerning. Get ready. When I click learning to code, watch what happens to Python and JavaScript. 65 for JavaScript, 45 for Python. These are professional developers. Learning to code, 60 for JavaScript, 56 for Python. So people are learning the wrong things. People are over-learning Python and under-learning JavaScript. Now here's the issue with Go. You wanted to know the issue with Go? Here's the issue with Go. This is not the way to break into tech. If you're a senior, it could be a great way to specialize and niche at the senior level. It's an awful idea at the junior level. Command F, Svelte. If you thought Golang was bad, look how bad Svelte is. Can you see this? It's hard to see on TikTok. Maybe you should go to the YouTube, the link in my bio, and see the full screen better. 6.62%. Professional developers, it's even lower. So this is what we call a shiny object. If I go to learning to code, it's overrepresented, 6.4. What about learning to code React? 37, professional, 43. So people are understudying React relative to industry. Where's Next.js? I have to scroll way down here to get to Next.js. Oh, no, I don't. Okay, it's up there. That's good. 15 and 17. So it's still understudied, but it's not nearly as bad as some of the other gaps that we've seen. Your argument that more widely used languages are better to get a job. Yes, that's exactly right. My argument is supply and demand. Not only is it better to land a job, there's more jobs available. There's also better learning material. There are larger communities. It's easier to learn these languages and it's easier to get a job. It's no coincidence that JavaScript and Python are the two most popular Turing-complete languages, and they're also considered the two best languages for learning to code. Python is taking off as ML AI ramps up. Hey, Steven, so ML AI, these are not software engineers. These are not programmers. These are data analysts, data scientists, data engineers, and so on. So you see here it says professional developers. And there's a section for other coders. So what do you think happens when I go from professional developers to other coders when we talk about JavaScript and Python? Other coders use Python. because other coders are the AI ML people that you were talking about. So the problem with me using Go Svelte is you're saying I'm not going to land a job. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying it's going to be more difficult for you to land a job. Michael says, and DevOps. Yep, I agree. All things are possible. I'm not saying it's impossible. What was that number at? 11%? 11% is not zero. It's just a lot less than 55. Or I guess the comparison would be 67, 66, whatever. Numbers. Yeah, so I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm just saying you're picking a very strange stack, and you're going to have to deal with the question. I mean, this is going to be a common sense question. If I'm interviewing you, I'm going to ask you, why did you pick Go? Of all the things you could have started with, why did you start with Go? That's extremely strange. It doesn't make you bad. You just need to be prepared for that question, and you need to have a reasonable answer. If your answer is, I was under the mistaken impression that I should reach for a niche language because that will build my skill set, it's at least a reasonable answer. Just don't dig your heels in and say, be willing to recognize if you made a mistake. If you dig your heels in and tell you the interviewer is wrong, that's going to be a bad look. But if you say, hey, this is what I thought, and then I learned something else, but by that time I already knew Go, that's a fine answer. Learning language won't matter because as a developer, you should be able to code in any language. No, that's absolute garbage. As a junior developer, you should not be expected to code in any language. As a junior developer, if you can code in one language, you're good to go. It's very difficult to read comments with your keyboard in the background. Yeah, sorry about that. I mean, I'm at a hotel, you do what you can. By the way, if you go to the YouTube link in my bio, you won't have to worry about that. Thanks for being here, y'all. Over 1,000 likes. Thank you so much. Cool. If I don't get to your question, we are wrapping up here pretty soon. If I don't get to your question, please leave a comment on my videos and I'll answer your question after the stream. Full site periodic backgrounds, teachable import. Yeah, we're going to have to pick this up next time. Public profile. We're going to have to pick these up next time. Okay. So now we are in prod. And yeah, latterly.io, link in my bio. You can go sign up right now. Thanks so much for your time. Julian says, the same principles usually apply to every language. The only difference is syntax. Julian, what is Pythonic code? Does Pythonic code apply to every programming language? So there are important differences by programming language. I see what you're saying, Julian, and you're reflecting what I would call the traditional CS view, which is that if you know abstract data structures, you can learn any programming language. The problem is that's not correct. If you know only abstract data structures and you know zero concrete data structures, you in fact cannot code. Now, it may help you in the long term, but it doesn't help you in the short term. Okay, cheers, y'all. Thanks for being here.